Toby, when we spoke on Thursday, it struck me that you were very realistic about what you were expecting, and I suppose just before half-time it looked really bad for the Ospreys, but the second half performance was that you said you wanted reactions when things happened, and that was a reaction.
Yeah, adversity is part of, growing and life, and not just rugby, right? And we've been Welsh rugby, the Ospreys. We've been through our fair share, and I'm just, when you called it realistic, I just, I think I'm just honest about it. If I'm honest, there's too honest in that. But we want to be a group that sticks tightly together, understands that it's not going to be straightforward. We'll find a way, the best way we can, whether that's how we train, be specific, try and maintain a high self-belief and mood state in the group, because all we've got is each other to help each other. And that's been tested over the last 12 months, and I can only commend the players on how we've got to the start of this season with what they've done and how they've done it, the mindset, the stuff we've done to have fun, to enjoy ourselves, to repair the mentality of the squad. And I think that was the reason that you saw the reaction you did at half time. I know that was a fairly long-winded answer, but it's important that people understand the context of what these guys have been through. And yeah, we got punched on the nose in the first half for sure, and there's a lot for us to improve on. But the good thing is, if we're not committed and you don't see what you see on the second half, then it's a very long journey from there. But the fact that these guys have said, right, rolled up their sleeve, showed a bit of resilience and an application and appetite for improvement, whether it be in the game and week by week, we're going to need all of that in order for us to be the best versions of ourselves, individually and collectively, and that's the aim.
Is that difficult maybe to explain to your local fan base on occasions, or just across that Welsh rugby is in this bind, if you like, but it's a step-by-step process now? There's no magic bullet solutions.
No, there's certainly not any magic bullet solutions, for sure. And we can't control the situations that we've come from any more than we have. We've got to communicate well, positive intent to our fans, to the people that support us, to understand the backdrop. You'd have seen some bits and pieces that I've done in the lead up to this game where I just tell the truth, and that's how it is. But we're up for it. We're seeing the opportunity in what we've got. Keelan's a senior player, aged 23 or wherever, right? He's a senior player, who's got a massive ambition personally, and we need to create the platform for him to thrive and lead and give the best version of himself. And he's not embarrassing. I pulled him up here because obviously he's a try-scoring machine, and and I'm sure after 25 minutes he thought, well, I'm not going to get any ball, but he did, and ultimately when he's called upon, like all of them, responded to adversity. And I think that's those are the attributes that make us perform well.
Did Connacht do anything today that really surprised you, or was that it was a bit of an in and out performance by them, first game of the season, but in the first half in particular? But were you expecting something in the way they played?
Do you think they brought it?
No, I think we expected them to be physical, and that's what they come out and done. I think, like Boothie's just said now, I think we turned it around and we had a reaction that second half and we fronted up a bit. But yeah, I think we knew they were going to come with a physical pack, and we just knew that we had to stand in front of them and take it toe to toe.
Was the half-time discussion fairly direct in the Ospreys dressing room? Was the hairdryer out, or was it just a case of fix these things and we'll be back firing in this game?
Yeah, exactly that. And I think we knew that we had that character, and we knew that if we stuck to our principles and the way that we want to play and our mindset in defence, that we knew that we'd claw it back and we'd be in the fight.
I think, credit to the coaches and whatever. I think we prepared well for this game, and there wasn't any surprises about what was coming. We just weren't capable at the start of doing anything about it, and then our capability grew for lots of different reasons. So I'm happy with how we prepared. I'm not obviously happy with the outcome and all of these guys, and they'll be the harshest critics, but we're an honest bunch that talk honestly and openly about where the lines are, and all you can do is respond, and they did that.
Well done. Thank you for your time this evening. Have a good, safe trip back. I hear your trip over was a little bit on the hairy side, but
It was a bit like the first half.
That's a good description of it. All right. Thank you very much indeed, gentlemen, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
What are your expectations for the season?
I think. Are you talking about outcome-wise, or are you just talking generally?
Both.
I think that we need to make sure that we understand what we are. We've worked very hard on understanding what we are as a team, and how we play, and identity, and whatever. And we talked about being true to that, win, lose, or draw. And I think when challenges come along, whether that be form, run of games, injury, whatever, we've always said that we are going to, without doubt, be that. And I think that that's one of the expectations, is that we do that. And I think if we do that, like you saw today, we'll score tries, and that's what we said to do. So performance-wise, we certainly want to be. Since I've been here, we've progressed from try-scoring ability and attacking. We've developed a much better attacking play. Obviously, we want to score more than we concede. So obviously, there's performance elements to that, and that's been a trend that we need to understand the balance in that. So performance-wise is to keep progressing attack-wise, and defensively be more robust, certainly than we were today, and we've got work to do in that area for sure. From an outcome point of view, we've got good performance stats around areas of our game. Everyone knows that from a set-piece point of view, obviously, that we can compete hard, scrum, line out more, etc. And the good fundamentals of the game for sure. We've always had a good scrum reputation, a good maul reputation, and when you're underpowered with Welsh boys not being around and you haven't got all your resources, obviously that's going to ebb and flow. But I thought the youngsters did brilliantly today in fulfilling that, and they'll be great for that experience. And unfortunately, from the last bit on outcome, the cliche part of it is, it depends on what success looks like to you. So success can look like how we do against comparisons of people in the same position. So it could be us versus our own regions, who've, we're the only people with self-imposed salary caps and bits and pieces like that. I was speaking to Pete before the game. They've got, with academy, 50 players training. We've got 28 plus academy. We've done 15 v 15, full people in the right positions probably a half a dozen times. So we understand that we're going to learn fast, but the situation, the context is important. So we'll probably just take, we've not talked about outcome, and I've deliberately not talked about outcome because I don't want to quash their enthusiasm, I say them, us, in relation to, they're young men that need to understand what they can control. And the moment we keep looking at outcomes, we'll trip over the hurdle that's right in front of us. So I'll take the pressure on the outcome and not answer your question. But it's going to be a game-by-game thing, for sure, and we'll see where it takes us. We enjoy our games in Europe, so we'll definitely try and show as much competitiveness in that, like we did last year in Champions Cup, and enjoy the cup competition, if you like, because that's a sort of micro season, and your squad depth is not as tested in that. So we'll definitely go strong for that. The Welsh derbies are all important because that's a comparable, and then from that we'll see where it takes us.